You just need three things. You need a bike, you need a helmet, you need a winning attitude, And they're like, okay, I can get a helmet. I do have an attitude. But then basically, where am I going to get it?
Welcome back to another episode where we talk cycling with almost elites. Thank you so much for all the love you've shown on the previous videos. If you love our content or you just simply want to support us, hit the like button. You may also subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. The videos have been doing great. Today, we've got a legendary cyclist. Legendary, as some know her short for Caro. She's been cycling for quite some time. We're getting to know her and we get to know what she's been doing in the cycling space, particularly in the ladies' side. Caro, welcome to the show. Please tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us how long you've been cycling and tell us a little bit about, your clinic that you run, how long it's been running and what's happening there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Almost Elite, #now Elites, for honoring me today and inviting me to your channel. I'm very honored. So my name is Caroline Matsimela, and I started cycling in 2017, April. And how I actually got into cycling is because I was a runner. And as a runner, I just got into running because I just wanted to lose weight. And then I really, really loved cycling. And I saw a couple of my running buddies doing 94.7. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. Just the look, it looks cool. And growing up, I did have a BMX. And I used to ride with the boys and everything. So for me, it wasn't even intimidating at all. It was like, this looks cool. Like it's the next golf, So I then wanted to do it and also do 94.7. I think that was like the thing. But I didn't know where to start. But anyway, I'll talk about that a bit later. So fast forward, during my tenure of cycling, it was very lonely coming from running. So I used to feel like, why C2? Why C3? Where are other Black ladies? I think for me, that was the big thing because I'm always riding with the guys. I'm always in the bunch with the guys. So I just felt a bit, no man, something is awkward here compared to running. Whereas in running, even though there were few ladies, but we were more. Yes. And I think, during my conversations with my friends and my other network, people just wanted to also do what I do, but then they just didn't know where to start. And different people approach me, Mara Caro, little now we want to start this thing, but we just don't know. And COVID happened. So when COVID happened, there were no races. There was time. And I also wanted to do something for the woman. I wanted to do something that has been bothering me, to say, how can I teach? By profession, I'm a talent specialist. So I'm very passionate about talent and growing talent. So that's what I do for a living. I get paid to interview people. Yeah. And place people and do succession planning. So I'm in talent management. So, and then I decided, you know what, let me start teaching. And I'm going to start teaching with the ladies that I used to run with. So that's how I started. And I founded it in August 2020 with 2 ladies. And today, yet to date, in 2022, we currently have 95 ladies.
Wow. And tell us a bit about your... are you extending across the country? Are you currently only in Gauteng? Tell us about the footprint and where you plan to take it.
So I think our vision is very clear. Our vision is we want to see a world where every single African woman can ride their bikes freely. I think that's the key word, freely, without any limitation or background or area. So the vision is even beyond Gauteng. It's beyond even national. I want it for the whole entire Africa continent. So I think that's how big it is. Right now, unfortunately, because of capacity and resources and all of that, we are in Africa, in Gauteng only. But we're getting a lot of requests for Cape Town, Mpumalanga, and so on. So there is definitely a gap within the cycling space.
Lovely. That's very lovely work that you guys are doing. So just to dive in deeper, I heard you mention something about when you looked, obviously, on all your sides, you sort of saw, a lot of males around you in the sports. Do you find that, there's an underrepresentation of women in the cycling community? And if so, why do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, you can even see it. You don't even have to know the stats. But I mean, if you look at any race where there's elite women, if about 10, about 15, if Banini about they don't even make 30, you see, in comparison to male. But I mean, there's many research, the average, there's actually between 20 to 25% percentage of women cycling, and I think the big reason why it is the intimidation of expense. Number one, like Nzoitolapi bike. Even now, I've got a lot of ladies that say, Caro, I also want to start. But then what do I need? I say, you just need three things. You need a bike, you need a helmet, you need a winning attitude, and they're like, okay, I can get a helmet. I do have an attitude. But then basically, where am I going to get it? So I think that's a big barrier for them. And then the second barrier, I think, is what I'm trying to alleviate, which is the fear, right? Is the fear and the intimidation. I've never even owned a bicycle growing up. It's always been boys riding bikes. And Matsimela Ladies but so why would I in my adulthood want to be able to start this thing? So that fear is also a big reason why ladies don't get into the sport, and that is what Matsimela Ladies Clinic is focusing on. We are focusing on beginners. Umuntu ati mina I've never been even on the bike. I'm 40 years old. I want to do something for me. And that's where we start. And if I look at the ladies that, in terms of our database, our ladies are between 35 plus. So 35 years, of age plus. And that tells me, Uguti, these are ladies that can now afford to be able to buy the bicycle for themselves. And 35 down, basa, abantwana, yini, umsebenzi, so I don't have the funds to be able to afford a bicycle.
Yeah, so can I just jump in there and ask a question? I mean, how do we tap into the 35 and below sort of markets of cyclists? Because I would love to see younger women get into cycling. I mean, there's only a few, and I mean, especially in the Black community, there's only a few in those categories. So how do you suppose we can tap into the younger market so that we can get them and group them at an earlier age? Is it a thing that we have to go to schools to try and promote cycling there? What's your take on that?
So I think my take is it's brilliant. I mean, that's eventually where it starts. And I'm even doing it personally with my own son, right? Uguti, you need to expose them at a young age. Then that thing sort of sticks, because they still don't know how to negotiate, and their fears are still like, whatever, I can do this. But I think the two big things for me that I think can help is the funding of having the resources or the equipment, which is the bicycle, right? Have the resources to do that and build within the communities. Because I don't think we need to go so far and so complicated. So if I'm empowering, I'm making an example, if I'm empowering women, right, that are 35 plus, the chances are they're also going to bring their kids, right? And the chances are within their community, they're going to do something in their families. So for me, the communities is a big thing, plus the resources. So we can't solve all the problems all at once and all be dependent on, oh, we need sponsorship. But let's teach, let's expose, and let's do it within our small communities that we in. And that way, that's how we are making the circle bigger, and we're giving that exposure.
Lovely stuff. So I'm a 35-year-old woman, and obviously want to join the Matsimela Clinic. So what are the things that I'd learn in the journey, or when I join the clinic? What are the things that I'd sort of take out and learn?
So, so much. I'm even learning myself. But I think the beginning is, it's the mindset. So the ladies that say, yo, Caro, we want to start, we like this thing. You know, and I think that's where it starts. And I've seen so many women coming and joining, like literally, like it's the fear, and not that they can't do it, right? But it's just that fear of, I've never done something like this. And seeing them through the journey where they can climb on the bike, they can pedal on their own, they can have bike control, they can actually be able to turn and have the technique skills of turning and cornering. Because there's many cyclists, even men, that I ride with that can't even do the cornering, you know, but gears and stuff like that. So, and being able to ride in a group, I do believe that is a skill. Not everybody can do that. And that's what we teach. We teach signaling. You know, there's people that they can't even remove one hand, you know. The drinking, that's a skill. The many ladies that come, in fact, all the ladies that come join me, so they don't know yet how to clit, how to use clit, which ones to buy, and so we teach all of that. And the most important thing that is underestimated in the sport is the gear, the attire. You know, Uguti, what kind of padded shorts do I need for mangenzi indoor, mangenzi long run, mangenzi, and how do I wear this? You know, so we talk about those things and openly, because even if you join any cycling club, they don't really tell you these things. They just say, must shop any target, how many kilometers, blah, 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 blah. Ubuya lapha ulimele, your bum is sore, you've got whatever. Nobody talks to you about those things, you know? So a simple thing that I can even share, as women, nobody tells us, Uguti, when you're wearing your bib shorts, you don't have to wear underwear. You know, nobody's going to tell you that. And then you're like, the cycling thing is not for me. So we talk about those things. We challenge the status quo. We make the circle bigger. And I mean, yesterday we did a changing of a tire. It's intimidating because first of all, you're like, I've never done something like this. And I'm a 40-year plus, and I don't know where to start. Like, I can't even change the tire model. So how the hell am I going to change a tire bicycle? You know? And then when you take them through step by step, they're like, it's actually like baking, you know, and it's not as intimidating and as hard as it looks. So we creating those possibilities. You can, if I can change a tire and I'm a woman and I'm 40 plus, you can also do it. So that's That's that.
Their vision is very big. The sky is the limit, and I must also say, you've really identified and addressed a very clear gap in the cycling community, and I think we're expecting a lot more coming from your space with what you're doing, Caro. I think I must commend you on that. You're doing some fantastic work. I've had the privilege of riding many rides with you, and I must say you are known to be a heavy hitter, and you've humbled a lot of guys. Very often, the guys will come there to the bunch and they'll feel like, there's a lady here, I'll be fine. There's no way she's gonna drop me.
Yeah.
Tell us about how you navigate that environment where the lady is undermined and it's expected that you will underperform, and you can even share some examples or stories or stories of.
Khona munye ngiyamsola khona la kule panel. Oh, wow. So yeah, that's a tough one. Hey, because I don't think I ever saw myself as like a heavy hitter, right? Because coming from running, yes, I've always been an athlete and stuff like that, but I don't think I've ever competed in the same space with men. So there's always been ladies, men, at school when you do athletics and so on. So I think for me, I've learned to actually say, Caro, what are your strengths? And understand, Guti, actually my hips and my thighs and my bums are actually my strength. Whereas before, I used to get intimidated because I don't look like a cyclist. When you see me, I don't have I'm not carbon body. You understand? So now ganda body. So now here you are, you coming guma carbon body ganda body yako, and then you wanting to compete. So men automatically also see that, and they like see themselves and look at me and they're like, hi, Suga. Yeah, but so I've even heard men say that to me. I once went on a ride and with some few guys that I don't know and the ones that I know. So it was a mixed bunch. And I think I was the only lady, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I was the only lady. And this guy came late and I don't know him. He doesn't know me. It's first time we meet and we park next to each other. And he actually tells me, guys, now I'm unfit. But I honali sister or kiboni my bizo, honali this one, ke sharp. I keep quiet. I'm like, okay, let's see. Chain years of kulum. So and we went on a ride. And I think the first 15Ks already he was out. And now he couldn't believe but I'm getting sure this lady. I mean, really. Yeah, but and he was fighting. And I think he was even using so much power and so much energy that he just went out. And Mina, I'm in my comfortable space. So here's a person who's competing with you and you're not even aware or anything like that. The funny thing about that story, that guy, he even got lost to the finish. And when he arrived, we all clapped hands for him. And when we clapped hands for him, he came back to me and he said, you know what, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I undermined you and stuff like that. So it happens. I'm used to it. And I think for me, it has also taught me to remain in my lane and all the time. And that's what I also teach the ladies, Guti. People might compete with you, but you need to have your own goals. You need to stay in your lane and do you, and be happy and understand, Guti, why are you cycling? What's the purpose of this thing that is making you to want to cycle?
There's a question I'd like to ask. I think we spoke about it a bit off air, right? So, I mean, how do you manage the different aspects of Caro? So how do you manage Caro the cyclist, Caro the the mother, Caro, the wife, and career woman, and on top of that, you still have time to teach 93, was it 93 ladies how to ride a bike. So how do you manage? How do you juggle those things in your life?
It's tough. It's. I don't want to lie. It's very difficult. I'm still figuring out. But one of the things that I think for me, naturally, I've got a very high energy. I used to actually take medication. I'm hyper to calm me down. So that's also another thing about me. Fun fact, yeah, my mom used to really struggle with me, and I used to take tablets, like really to calm my energy. So, but in terms of work balance and all these responsibilities, I think for me it has been a growth. It's been a growth, organic growth graph, if I may put it that way. I didn't become a cyclist, a teacher, and all these things. So, but one of the big things that I think is working out is the support structure. So, the support structure that I have in my life is amazing. So, first of all, it's important that if you're going to engage in something like this, you also become honest with the support structure, or you the family, the friends. So in the Matsimela Ladies Clinic, I'm not alone. Yes, I can be the front, but I actually have two business partners that you will most probably never see that much, or they are behind the scene. So my husband is one. He does all the books, he does all the compliance, he does all the administration thing. You'll never even see him in the picture, but he's there. He makes sure that everything runs. So that's a big thing. And then I've got Mandisa. Mandisa is actually the one who taught me how to cycle. I was also taught by a lady, and I'm thinking, if he taught me or how to change gears, how to do this, and our vision was aligned in terms of what can we do more of for women, and there was no better person that I could do this with in making the circle bigger because of our vision, and he taught me. So this is like, yes, you taught me, but then let's teach more. And that's where the whole thing of making the circle bigger comes from. So Umandisa does a whole lot in terms of the training, the thinking, the operational part of it. And yeah, so there's Mandisa, there is Louis, who are there in the background. I also have now put some structures in place where I do have a board. We will be launching individuals very soon, and by myself. I do have the think tankers. They will be launched very soon. So yeah, that's that. And then this year we've got 15 group leaders. These are now the graduates for 2021. This year in 2022, they are now group leaders, and they are helping on the ground with the beginners during the week. So having those structures in place, they are helping to support. And even at home, I have that support and an understanding. A husband, I suppose 16 years later, he's stuck with me, I guess, so he doesn't have much choice. So than to take it all. My son is a bit grown up now. I don't think 5 years ago I would have been able to do this. So and that's the support. My family is my extended family, everybody is involved, so they understand this thing, so it becomes like it's something that we have to help you with. So yeah, I'm quite fortunate, and I've got amazing I guess maybe I also, with my work, I don't see it as yes, I get paid for it, but I don't see it as work. I see it as it's something, it's fun, it's my passion, that's what I do. So I practice work and I practice sport. It's the same thing. It's all within the talent management space. So yeah, that's me.
You're such an inspirational woman. I'm like very, very inspirational, and you do so much that I didn't even think of. So for someone like Caro, who are the people, whether it's your colleagues or other ladies, maybe in the cycling, sort of fraternity, who are the other ladies that you look up to, that motivate you, that you think, wow, it's this lady, man, she really rocks it.
Sure, that's a very, very difficult question because I think I don't necessarily have a individual, like a person. My perspective, I guess, it's so broad that I look at somebody for me that I'll give you an example within the cycling space, right? I look at somebody like Uzanele. Uzanele, I mean, was one of the first young Black girls who participated in 2016 UCI World Champs. Even though, yes, she didn't finish, but she was like coming from her background and doing this. For me, that was a motivation because I'm like, somebody who starts from nothing and builds it all up and wins, that for me just brings my blood, I don't know, somehow. So there are so many ladies. I mean, even in cycling, Buhle started cycling same time as me. I even remember we had the same aluminium bikes, the silverback together. And I I rode with her and the 160, my first 160, and she was so strong. And I was like, oh one with me, but I who has the same things as me, but who's so ahead. Those for me are people that inspire me. This past weekend, I was inspired by a 52-year-old woman that I don't even know who was cycling a track and the power that she was releasing. And I was like, I even went to her, interviewed her, said, hi, my name is Caroline. Who are you? How did you start? Why did you do this? I mean, for me, I think I look for talent, or I look for those individuals that will challenge things from nothing. And she told me, I started 3 years ago. And because everybody around me in this home was cycling, and my son is cycling, my husband is cycling, is involved. And I also decided, why not? And so those for me are individuals that inspire me, that keep on doing amazing things, attempting big things like that. No one, you think, okay, is it possible? Is it possible to even do Munga? I mean, things like that. I think that for me is what drives me. And I want to see that woman and know the story behind the person. And once I understand the story behind the person, then my blood boils. And then I'm like, okay, I can also do it. How do I make it possible?
I love that. I love that so much. And on the topic of strong women, so in the Matsimela Clinic, are there any such success stories where you saw someone come through and they didn't even know what left was, what right was, and they struggled, and then now you look at them, some time later, and you're like, wow, we have someone who's actually gone through and done the work, and look at where they are now. Do you have such examples?
I have lots. I actually get so emotional about this, but I think for me right now is an example of having to take 20 ladies who will be lining up for the first time to do Cape Town Cycle Tour. Now, that for me, it's one of those things. In 94.7, I had 25 ladies lining up, and 21 out of the 25 managed to finish. And those for me are success stories, because you see the journey. You see the journey of this person has done this is what they've done. And I share those stories in the social media because I believe our real stories is what is making an impact. And that's what's going to change our society and making the circle bigger. So I'm very, very excited this weekend. It's going to be a big one for us. Flying from Johannesburg to Cape Town with 20 new ladies. And we've been very fortunate to be able to get a same start as a group. So we're looking forward in painting Cape Town yellow. So yeah, those are my success stories. I can stay here the whole night talking about in each and every individual. But what I can tell you is that follow us on our social media. We share these stories. Join our group. Follow us. We constantly sharing our stories.
So how do people get a hold of Matsimela Cycling Clinic? And how do they join? How do they join the circle and community of women in cycling?
Okay, so our process is very simple, and I constantly share the process. So the process, it's still a bit manual. We'll get there to digital world, but we work with what we have, which is something that I'm a very big advocate of. So the first requirement, you have to be in Gauteng. You have to have a bike, you have to have a helmet and a winning attitude. Then once you have that, you then reach out to me. On my mobile, it's 060-978-5821. I work on WhatsApp most of the time just because it's quicker. And then we go through, I go through the sort of like an onboarding with you, because for us, it's very important that the people that join us, they are aligned, because some people, they just want the fun, but we're not about that. We are running a program. We are transferring the skills. And once you get the skills, you are able to then go and join the cycling club of your own, of your choice, that is close to where you are. You need to be available either Saturday or Sunday, because we do most of our sessions in Nasrec and Cradle. There is a joining fee of 1,500 for the whole year. Now, what is nice about this is our programs are quarterly based. So if you miss one session, drinking of water, guess what? It will be covered maybe in the third session. And then you register. There's an online document I will send you. You register, you pay, and then voila, you are in our WhatsApp group. You follow us, and then you join. Then with that joining fee, you get an ICE ID, because safety is very important. You also get our socks, because the feet, the pressures is very important for you to be able to have a comfortable cycling journey. So it's a very easy process. We mostly communicate on WhatsApp, and then on social media, it's Matsimela_Ladies_Clinic on Instagram, as well as on Facebook.
Yeah, so we'll put all of those details up on the screen now. So I think in closing, thank you so much, Caro, for your time. And I think, as the guys have said, you're such an inspiration. And I hope you can continue to do the lovely work that you do out in the field. And we'll see you this weekend in Cape Town, along with the 20 ladies that's
Yay! When you see us, just wave.
Of course we will.
And that's it.
Of course we will. So thank you very much to everyone who's watching. Do like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye.